What's up, Duke fans? Welcome to the Devil's Den podcast. I'm your host, Josh Smith, joined by co-host Raul and Shu. We're recording this on a Sunday, so it's been a little bit post Michigan State. We wanted to come in, react to that. Obviously, that was a massive game, fellas. Duke goes up to East Lansing, comes back home with a 66-60 dub. I think there's a lot of talking points from this. We're going to get into some of that. Fellas, for this one, I'm pretty hyped up about it. I'm trying to regain the energy because I was trying to record this halfway through the game. But just off the top, what's your biggest takeaway or the biggest storyline, or where do you want to set this thing up from? We're going Fears, we're going Booze, we're going Foster. Where you got? Shu, let me go to you here. What's the biggest storyline from you?
To me, I think it's Caleb. Again, another Michigan State game where he comes up. I wouldn't call him the hero, but comes up big, clutch down the stretch. I think it was in the United Center when we played him the last time that he, kind of hit that three to ice the game, and sure enough, does the same thing here again.
Not as buttery, but hey, you take it, right? You take it.
And what are we, 3-0 in the Breslin now? So
I think that was the coolest thing too. Seeing Carlos there, knowing that he had also had a dub was pretty chef's kiss.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, I have a more global take, but if we can talk about Caleb for a second, I kind of thought that this game was even better than the Arkansas game in certain ways. Okay, obviously he doesn't score as many points, but just as a kind of complete game, in the first half, he's getting into the paint a lot and kind of spraying out to shooters, making some beautiful passes. He plays terrific defense on Fears all game. Fears kept trying to pin him on his hip, and he was able to just kind of stay off and not get the foul there. He had that big block on Carr, which is pretty impressive for a guard to do that to an athlete of that caliber.
And
then like Shu mentioned, he makes that huge three that essentially won the game, and then hits those two free throws late as well. So, and I thought it was cool that John kind of trusted him to make free throws after he blows the 1-1 versus, Florida. And obviously John's well aware of the percentages that Foster is shooting, but I think it was kind of a moment of, empowering him. Right. So
it's the second time he's hit clutch free throws this year. I forget the other game. Maybe it even was the Arkansas, but there was one earlier in the year, fellas. He went to the line, knocked down two. I'm forgetting the game here, but
yeah, that might have been Kansas, or
might have been Kansas.
It was a little bit earlier. It was before Arkansas.
Kansas. Yeah. I think Kansas is right. I think
because we played a bunch of somewhat close games, so it's hard to remember. But I don't think it would have been Texas because we beat them by 15, so it wouldn't.
I think it was close. Kansas, and then we kind of got it. That score started to kind of get out, but I remember him hitting two big ones there. Man.
Yeah, so he's just been super clutch for us so far this year. But I feel like if you're watching his game closely over the last 3 or 4 games, it just seems like his confidence level and aggressiveness is just way higher. And it just feels to me like a mini breakout. It's not the Nolan Smith breakout, right? It's not like suddenly you go from 6 points a game to, 18 or whatever he was at, 17 when they won the title. But it's still he just looks more like the player we've kind of always envisioned him being out there. Jordan Mann mentioned I think he did it was a breakdown of the Arkansas game, and he was just talking about the offensive advantage you create by having a point guard specifically, who can just get reliably into the paint, and just the pressure that puts on the defense. And we've always kind of talked about how Caleb has that skill. It's just he hasn't been able to leverage it before because he would get into the paint and he would kind of overthink and panic. And it just feels like suddenly he's just kind of reading and reacting in a much more instinctual way, which is what Scheyer's been asking for years. So hopefully it continues.
Yeah, man. I think I'm glad we're starting with Caleb here because that's something we talked about all summer. It's something that a lot of people have covered. I don't feel that we've been overly harsh or overly critical. We surely wanted it to happen for him. But to see him start to settle in a place where I think he's found comfort, that he's found kind of a sense of security in what he's doing. I thought he was tough as hell last night or yesterday, man. I thought Boozer gets that foul. Caleb took over. He takes over, man. He comes in strong, 2-foot drive in the paint, dude. Just like has the arm, like you see the like flex on it too. Just the strength that he gets in there. Finishes that one, comes back down, gets fouled, goes 1-of-1 on that time. And then, later on, hits the 3, gets the next 2 free throws. I mean, I thought it was tough as nails. I thought over these 3 games, he's been our best defender. He's been our most impactful, important defender, point of attack. I don't want to use this as an opportunity to kind of sham Cayden a little bit. I don't think it's all his fault, but we can't afford to have Caleb off point of attack right now, guys. Like, that's how valuable this dude is. It is glaringly obvious to me every time he's not at the head of the snake. Like, every time he's not there. And again, I'm not trying to rat Cayden, man, but we're missing some curls. We're giving up some threes. We're giving up dribble penetration at times when it's like, ooh, it's 39-38, and then it's 45-40 MSU.
Yep.
And it's like, ooh, okay. Again, I'm not trying to hammer Cayden here, but I do think it's
do you think
Cayden was value?
Do you think Cayden gets kind of picked on when he comes in? Because I feel like in the last 2 games, like he comes in and immediately gives up a 3, a cut to the back, like. And I don't know if it's by design that they're like, all right, we're going after this guy because he is, he's always going to be the smallest one out there.
I think so. I mean, but also if you really just, and Raul, you chime into, if you really just want it, we've played a hell of a schedule against some big time competition in an age where college basketball, these teams are old, they're portaled, they're big, and we're seeing the landscape of college basketball. And I think, we might talk about this later, but what we're seeing across the board in terms of what teams are doing, how they're playing, I just think he's a freshman, man. And we're playing a gauntlet schedule, trying to get this thing ready for the Final Four. And this is going to be hard, dude. Like, there's not too many Niagaras and Howards in here for you to kind of feel this thing out. We want to win. We want to win now. And I just think it's that, man. I just think he's a freshman and it's hard. And,
Sure.
Welcome to the league, right?
I mean, this team's identity so far has been built around defense, and Caleb's just a stronger and longer defender. I know he only has an inch of height on Cayden, but Cayden's arms are pretty short, I think. I don't know anything about his wingspan, but just like looking at him out there, it just doesn't feel like he can contest shots that well. And then he just kind of makes some mental errors, like that run that you mentioned there. I think the very first play in that run, he just like goes under a screen and doesn't get to the corner on time, and they splash a 3. And then, I don't really blame the rest of the run too much on him. Malik made a mistake in there. There was some other stuff. So
the help side defense is not quite the level that it was last year, right? There's no Malawach and Coop just kind of coming over and racing everything. We have good help, but it's not the same kind of like we can erase mistakes type of help, right? So I think it's just pops more. Go ahead.
That's why it's really important to have perimeter stoppers out there. It's like, because also we don't have, this lively like rim protector in there. I think Gongba's really good at maintaining verticality and contesting shots, but he's not, as we saw, he's not maybe quite as mobile as some of the centers we've had in the past. Like, he was having trouble, getting out to Kohler in the first half. They kept running the action over and over, and it was just burning Pat. And it's hard for a guy that big to get out, right? So having like Caleb out there and Sar out there as well, and even Khamenia has been pretty good at this, just kind of like to be able to hound on the ball and be able to kind of, fight through screens and stuff like that has been really important for us. I thought Cayden had a good first stretch of the game. Like, when he first came in, he was able to like get a lob to Malik and stuff like that. But then they started like playing him for his offense. And because he just couldn't finish around the rim and he couldn't hit threes, that really kind of hurt us as well, So it's for Cayden, the trouble has been a little bit on both ends, actually. When he's able to facilitate, he looks great. Mm-hmm. But the problem is he's, can't get his own offense that easily, and then he also gets picked on defense a little bit. So, but you see it there, right? Like, you're not like, oh my God, this guy's going to be useless all year.
He's just not a microwave guy, right? Yeah. Like, it's just not. He's more of a, I think, I've said this all year. Like, he's an engine, right? And so like those guys typically play 30, 35, 37 minutes a game. Like, he's Jeremy Fears. Is how he wants to be. Like, that's kind of how he wants to play, right? I'm going to come up. We're going to get everything going here. And maybe next year that's what it is. And it is a little bit more of that. Maybe it's a little bit of that this year too. But for me, it's more about Caleb than it is Cayden personally, right? Like I'm not like low on Cayden. If anything, I'm like extremely higher on Caleb because of the floor of what he provides defensively. And now that the offense is starting to get there, when it's like, I don't care if you're scoring 7, 8, 9 points a game. If and when Cam gets 4 and we need you, you're able to boom, I'm here, right? I'm gonna go get you quick. I'm gonna get to the line. I'm gonna get us into our stuff. Like, okay, cool. Like if you can do that, if you can turn that on and off, like I don't care what the scoring numbers are, really, as long as you're able to be aggressive, keep things honest. You mentioned the spraying that he was doing in the first half. Yeah, so shouts to Caleb. Glad we started there. I do think we've already went 10 minutes, fellas, and we got to get to probably one of the more hot take-ish kind of thing, or one of the biggest moments of this game. Early in the first half, MSU's going to the line. I think they're up 3. Crowd is chanting to Cam here, right? They're giving him some good kind of FU Cam.
Not to jump in, but that was pretty late in the first half, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was just 23-26, and they weren't scoring, right? So 3-point
game.
I
was just making sure you said early in the first half. So
well, it's like 4 minutes left, like 16 minutes in the first half, I guess. Early in the game should have been a better thing. Either way, he's at the line. He's getting into it, right? The student sections are going. That's whatever. Fierce hears it and starts to kind of like, egg that on, which, hey, that was your choice. I tweeted at that moment. I was like, hey, man, doing that with him scoreless right now, there's a lot of time left in that. Like, be careful, right? Be careful. That might not be the flex you think it is. Oh, buddy ended up going 0 of 10 from the field. Cam comes out in the second half and does his thing. But let's just start there, real time. Raul, y'all were watching that. I don't know if y'all got to watch it live. I was watching that one live. What would you make of that right then?
I mean, for me, I guess I was a little. So it's not like Maryland, it's not like his heated rivalry that we have.
He deserve it.
Yeah, that's what his dad's there, his mom's there.
His 10th game as a freshman, right? This isn't like
so
JJ.
And it's not like he hadn't been throwing elbows at people or doing anything
dunking
crazy
on you, talking to the crowd.
Literally, he's scoreless at this point. So yeah, I was just a little perplexed by how that became the chant, but yeah, I mean, he responded, obviously.
Yeah, I know I've talked to you guys about it, how I find it bizarre how much he's hated already. Mm-hmm. And Cooper and Khan last year didn't really get that hate, and you would kind of think, like, especially with Cooper, this hyped player, like best prospect since, Zion or Anthony Davis or whatever, right? Like, that's when people tend to respond with backlash. And obviously Cam's gotten his own hype as like the best player in the country, but he's just like this workman-like, non-demonstrative guy who just kind of goes about his business. He never flexes or like yells at the crowd or anything like that. It's like, why is he the one getting the hate and not like Gongba, who will get into, he like threw a guy down in this game, or Evans, who will like, he'll instigate, obviously he didn't have a big enough game to do that in this one, but it's like, why Cam? I don't know. And there's this whole narrative that's going around, like, about the hooks and the elbows and all that. And it's like every post about Cayden Boozer and like his stats, it's like you see like 30 comments about that too. And it's just the fact that we've gotten to the point where, again, a rival player is egging on the crowd, like cursing this guy out, is just strange. Yeah.
I mean, the media thing is the most interesting to me. I mean, I don't know why it's like this narrative started to happen a couple weeks ago. And for whatever reason, Seth Davis has just made it his like MO to just stick his head in the sand and just bury. I don't know what the argument is against it. Some of it is he's not what he should be. The other part is like, well, Duke can't be this if he's the only thing going. All I know is we're 10-0 right now with the best resume in the country. And Cam is playing his ass off.
Yeah. And we're able to stay in these games even when he's not scoring, right? It's like we were down 3 at the half. He had 2 points. Obviously he comes out like a house on fire in the second half, and we could talk about, we'll get into that obviously, but there was, what was the game earlier? Another big game where he would
the Texas game. Didn't score at all in the first half.
Yeah. And it's not like we were getting blown out at the half. So Duke can hang with other teams when Cam is not scoring. They're not a one-man operation. It's just they don't have this second guy who's putting up 17 points. This is the thing. Duke has we have 6 guys who might give you 5 points or 7 points or 9 points, whatever, right? and maybe Evans or Gongba could be sprinkled in there and have a 16-point game, but
Foster
it just
maybe
doesn't.
Get a little, yeah.
We're certainly dependent on him to be good, Cam, but that's what he does, right? Like he has never not been good, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean,
if you look at the
single, go ahead.
If you look at the first half box score there, we have 31 points at the half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Besides Khamenia, who had 9, everybody, I mean, it's spread. Like everybody else is just like 3, 4 points, 2, 3, 4 points. From top to bottom, I think everybody that played in the half scored. Darren Harris hit us 3. So yeah, I mean, even though we weren't getting a lot of production from Cam offensively, that was being kind of spread around by everybody else, I guess.
Yeah, and it's also not like Cam does nothing when he's not scoring. There are players who certainly have no value when they're not scoring, but Cam was still gobbling up rebounds. He has some nice passes as well. Yeah. I mean, that's the rebounding is a big talking point too, obviously. I feel like we're jumping around all over the place, but maybe we should just stay with Cam going into the second half before we talk about the rebounding stuff. Cause he scores 14 of the first 17 second half points, I think.
I believe, yeah, I think so.
And he had like 16 points in the space of like 13 minutes or something crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he dominated. I mean, the game, when it goes to 45, I know we are jumping around, but when it goes to 45-40, I mean, he goes on like he scores 7 straight points for Duke, right? Like he's from 38 to 45 is all Cayden Boozer. And the one, I mean, this is where I thought like we won the game is they put and Izzo talked about it. He put Cam Ward on him. He comes over, he gets the little Euro, and then the guy just kind of gives him like 3 feet as he just catches the ball from Caleb. It's like, all right, dude, sure.
I don't think he expected a 27-foot shot there. Because that was a deep one, man. That was deep.
You got to know your guarding though a little bit, right? It's like, dude, this is a top 3 pick. This is different, man. Like you got to know your garden, bro. Like you just can't. I mean, you're seeing it across the country. Like go ask those boys about Koa Pete. Know who you're guarding. Like you got to know your garden a little bit. I'm not trying to not Cam Ward here. To me, that's more of the Izzo thing. But it's like Cam just keeps coming at you, and he keeps coming at you, and he keeps coming at you. He's relentless. I mean, 15 rebounds. I'd kind of caught him out a little bit last pod. Like, hey man, I'd like to see you up those rebound numbers a little bit. This is a game where it's just a grown man game, and you got a freshman in here as the best player on the floor. They can talk about that dude outplaying him. He didn't outplay him. I thought that guy was great. What's his name? I'm forgetting the guy's name.
Kohler or Cooper?
Cooper.
Cooper.
Yeah, right. Had like 16 and what he had 16 and 16. Guy was good. Guy was great. Those guys battled, but came out on top, man. Came on top. So
I mean, really, like if they had gotten more offense out of Fears, they easily could have won this. So just
that made it the best too. The fact that he was the one doing it, that he was the 0-10. He had 13 assists.
To 1 turnover, right? Like
to 1 turnover.
But here's kind of my response to people who were saying, "Oh, well, he played great. He had 13 assists to 1 turnover. He wasn't looking for his own offense." I was like, he still took 10 shots.
Mm-hmm.
If you go 1 of 3 and you have 13 assists to 1 turnover, you played a great game.
Sure.
You were the distributor. But if you go 0 of 10 and you have 13 assists to 1 turnover, you're still hurting your team.
Yeah, at that point, right? At that point. And so it's like that made it nice.
What you guys think about this is Cam's first game he fouled out. I thought the first and third fouls that he got were just dumb fouls, like him trying to, I think the first one he tried to reach around. The third foul was so bad, but then the fourth and fifth were just horse shit calls, essentially.
The fourth was terrible. The fourth was like the Cooper thing against Houston almost, right? Like maybe even worse than that.
The fourth one was the one that really pissed me off. I thought the fifth one, it's like, I mean, it was kind of bullshit too, but it's like, I've seen that before. Like this was just, I kept watching that fourth one back and it just looked to me like he's just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's gotten away with more contact on, trying to get offensive rebounds off of free throws before. This was like nothing.
Yeah. What I was worried about is, after he picked up that fourth one, because we used him to set a lot of screens.
Yeah.
I was worried that somebody's going to do something to get him, because they called a terrible offensive.
If you go back and look, and notice right after that, like when he gets that fourth and Caleb starts to go, if you look at that set, dude, look how careful Caleb is in that initial ball screen with Cam, dude. Like he lets him set it and he comes up. He has to set it for him like 3 different times. And I think it's probably some of it is kind of like, whoa, like they want to call this on you, bro. Like they want to, like maybe it's not, maybe it wasn't. I don't know though, man. There's something I think that they were like, whoa, easy. You saw John pointing to him like, hey, bro, use the head.
Yeah.
We go into the zone, and we might should have just led with that. I don't know. There's a lot of talking points in this game.
Yeah.
Right? We go to the zone, and that won the game. Like that shut them down. That shut them down. I mean,
I was impressed with how ready we looked to play that zone. Like, because in previous seasons, when Scheyer has gone to zone, it's been for like just a few possessions, and it has not always looked good. Like last year, I think we just played it just a tiny amount. And it was like we'd get out of it quickly because it didn't really work. This one looked like really solid to me. Michigan State was having trouble getting the ball in the middle at all, and we were able to get a couple steals out of it as well. And another important thing about that zone was we still defensive rebounded in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that can be like the Achilles heel of playing a zone, right? Like, and Michigan State is such a good offensive rebounding team that's your worry when you go to a zone. I know maybe it's not as severe depending on the personnel and stuff, but yeah, I was impressed with like, it looked like we'd done some reps with it already.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Geisinger tweeted out after the game. I was looking at his stuff, and he said that he's only charted one possession of dome that we played all year. That was against Kansas, kind of late in the game. Final 8 minutes, all in zone, and like I can't wait till we get him on here. He's talking about how we're like the attention to that we were doing it to serve the purpose that we needed, right? So it's like the short closeouts, we're sitting in the gas, we're protecting Cam. We went to this lineup at some point in there too that I loved, man. I don't know how long it was in there, but I think it was like Caleb, and we had both big wings, like Caleb, Nik, Dame, Malik, and Cam out there or something, dude. And like Dame and Nik were just hell active right there, man. They almost had that steal.
I thought Dame looked awesome in the zone.
Yeah, dude. I love that 2-wing little gapping that we were doing there. I think we've done this a lot to Izzo though. Like these sort of like little adjustments that just takes him a little too long to pick up on in real time. I thought John just outcoached him a little bit here, man. But
I mean, in the first half, our half court set defense I thought was incredible. I mean, the first 10 minutes of the game. I mean, if we had a set defense, they couldn't even get a decent shot up on the rim. They were short rim and everything. We let them get in transition. That was what was
like 8 of his 13 freaking assists right there.
Yeah, we were throwing the ball away. What did we have? 6 turnovers in the first half. We only finished with 8, I think, right?
Yeah. So we had 6 turnovers. We had 6 turnovers in the first 16 minutes. Yeah, or something.
And then only had 2 the rest of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't think our defense was bad at all in this game, but again, the foul trouble predicated us going to the zone. That, and obviously Raul mentioned earlier, we Pat dropping back on that 2-man action with Kohler, especially from that one spot. I mean, he hit 4 threes in the first half from pretty much the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Because they kept talking about on the broadcast how we'd adjusted to that. What did you guys see there? Because I wasn't really even like clear on that. Like, how did we shut that down?
I think we just had the roll man go with them, like instead of trying to hedge it out, like just go with Kohler and not give up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we went to the zone too, and then so that was
that was part of it, of course, as well. Yeah, you're not going to get.
Yeah, and then we're scoring a little bit more, and then there's more attention to it too, right? Like after a while, it's like, hey, man, stick on this. Like, let's figure this out. I'd have to go back and look because I wasn't really sure if we started doing anything other than what you're saying. It's just like, hey, tag this, man. Like, don't slip, like whatever you got to do, stay tagged.
Stay with them. Yeah.
We shut that down. I thought the Cohen Carr guy was just tough as hell, dude. Like I thought he gave him some good little baseline cuts. Wasn't super efficient. I mean,
can't shoot.
His lack of shooting really hurts him.
It did.
If he can't get out and like dunk in transition or get attack and close out, he's just
kind of a quiet game from Malik a little bit there too, right? Like I thought he was solid. But he really only plays 14 minutes in this game, but he has 4 fouls, right? So he got in foul trouble a little bit, but Yeah. Our bigs had like 9 or 12 fouls between the three of them. I think they had like 12 between them.
I think we need to give Nik his flowers for just some of the
Oh
rebounds.
yeah, we haven't even talked about him yet.
Yeah, I mean, he was tough as nails.
Yes,
obviously, I mentioned the 9 points in the first half. Knocked down our first 3, knocked down 2 more. Probably had 1 or 2 that rimmed out that could have went down.
One led to that Cam, he got the offensive rebound and putback. Man, that was a good looking shot from Nik, man.
And then one of the rebounds he got, offensive rebound, forgot who it was, shot it. He came up and got fouled as he was rebounding it, but still like tried to shoot it, so he got free throws off of it. And then came up with a bigger one, maybe a play or 2 later, put it up, got it blocked, but got it back again, and then it went out of bounds on, I think, Fears, tried to throw it in, it hit off his foot, but we gained possession from it. So I just thought Nik again battled his ass off. For a freshman to come in there and do that was pretty incredible.
And he's up to 41% from 3 on the year too. It's really just free throw shooting that's only just he's doing this 1 of 2. Man, him and Caleb are on this 1 of 2 thing for whatever reason.
Yeah, I was going to bring up his recent 3-point shooting. Over the last 5 games, he's 8 of 16, so 50%. But to your point though, 50% from the field, 50% from 3, 43% from the free throw line. Those are some weird splits.
Yeah, man. Those are some weird splits.
Are you guys worried about the free throws?
I'm starting to get a little concerned. It's been a trend over the last, because we started the year pretty well from the free throw line. We had I think that Texas game, or maybe it was Tennessee.
20 or 20 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There was a game, where we shot 20 in the second half alone.
Yeah.
And then I think the last 3 or 4 games, you'd be kind of at 65, 67% every game. And I think the issue is just the guys that get fouled the most on this team just aren't reliable free throw shooters. We have some reliable free throw shooters on the roster, but they're not going to the line a lot.
Even Big Pat, the last couple of times has come up,
Yeah, I mean, Pat was 4 of 8 or something, man. Weird,
And that was after
Cam or Slim.
Yeah,
you don't have. I mean, it's Cam, Slim are awesome from there, and then everyone else just is really below where you feel like they should be, though. I mean, we got to get Nik, Caleb. You got to be Cam,
and even Cam will have some moments of where he's not hitting them. So
yeah, he's got a lot of arc on his shot.
He got a lot of arc on.
It's butter or nothing on that day. On that bad play.
Yeah. And I think Cayden has shot well at the line, but again, he's not going there much. And Evans started the year going to the line a lot, but he hasn't really recently. So,
it's just 3 big ones down the stretch there, though.
Got
out on that 3.
Yeah, I mean that's because right now, the fact that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in your rotation shooting under 60%. Caleb's right at 61%, but 4 guys in your rotation at under 60% is not exactly where you want to be, considering only one of those guys is named Malik Brown. So you give him a little bit maybe as the big, but Dame, Caleb, Nik, it's especially Nik, right? The shot mechanics are there. It's got to come. It's just got to come. Caleb too, man. Caleb's got to figure it out. Let's get more reps. So
yeah, I think one saving grace is that we go to the line a lot. So it's it almost looks worse because we're going to the line so often, but there's a little more wiggle room there if you're going 25 times every game, right? Because we only go 15 of 23, but we just take a ton more free throws than Michigan State does. So we end up with 5 extra points at the line, even though they shot better at the line than we did.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's definitely a concern though.
Yeah, and I don't know, this segues into that, and I don't know if it's a concern or something, but I've noticed over the last several games, and Raul, you made a point when we were talking offline that it happened last year a little bit too. The 3-point shooting, now our 3-point shooting has came down over the last couple of weeks here. We're down to about 35% as a team. Some of that has been kind of Slim being in a slump, and so when the guy that's going to take 8 or 9 or so a game, 6, 7, 8 a game, when he's down to 33% versus 42%, that's going to impact that a little bit. But fellas, are you more concerned about it's not so much for me the volume. I don't think we're taking a ton. We took 29, which I don't think I'm not concerned with that. It's just that we're seeming to take a lot of them to start games. We're seeing the 7 of our first 8, 10 of our first 12. And so why are we taking like 40% of our volume in like a 5-6 minute window, not spreading it? Like, are you concerned with any of that, or what do you kind of make of that dynamic, I guess? Because sometimes we're on pace to shoot like 63s in a game, right? And then it's like clear you're not going to do that. But what do you attribute that to, or do you think that's something that will evolve like it did last year?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just taking what the defense is giving you. Maybe it's setting you up for a little bit of what's to come. Like, oh, we're just playing around the perimeter. Now we're hitting slips to Cam, diving at the
That's
basket.
true. That's true. Yeah, it does set up to, you bite on this a little bit, I'll ghost you.
Run play. Here comes the bomb over the top,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to really differentiate between, is that a good 3-point attempt that we just missed, or is it a bad 3-point attempt? And for the most part, I felt like there were good attempts that we just missed, especially in this last game. But actually, didn't we shoot fairly well early in this game?
Yeah, Nick, because Nick,
right, because he made 3, so it's like, and Sar made 1, and then I think there was one. We were like 5 of our first 11, and then we just
Harris made 1. Harris made Harris made 1. Slim made 1, I think, early too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, Slim. Yeah.
So we shot pretty well early from 3, but we just seem to kind of be taking a lot of our volume early in games. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it's to set things up. Maybe it's to see if we can nuke you out of the building. I don't know. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to go in here and shoot 70% of our first, 15 shots from 3, and if we hit them, then
throw a haymaker out. If not, then we'll just grind it out for the rest of the game. We've been doing that.
Yeah.
And how much also is like, Cam has had a few slow starts, and Cam's going to be taking a lot of your interior shots, right? So if you start going to him in the second half and going to him over and over again, like we did versus Arkansas, for example, or even in this game for that stretch to start the second half, you're going to have a lot more rim attempts when that happens. Cam will take some threes, of course, but 80% of his shots are going to be at the rim.
Yeah. Yeah. I've really been impressed with Cam, man. I mean, just looking at his shot chart too, he took 9 threes against Florida, turned around and takes 3 against Michigan State, just kind of recognizing, where I need to be, what I need to get into. Yeah, man, this guy, I mean, you're just going through and just looking at his stats, and this is just, it is weird that he's getting the hate. Maybe it's just being an NBA kid too, right? Like maybe it's just Carlos is there. They see Carlos. It's like, man, we're tired of y'all. Get out of here. But he's drawing some big time comps, man. Like if you look on his Ken Palm, kind of like who he's similar to, it's kind of cool because there's like 3 Dukies up there, but it's Cooper Flagg, Jabari Parker, Tobias Harris, Aaron Gordon, Zion Williamson. That's his top 5 comps right there, dude. You put those 5 together, that's one hell of a player. That is one hell of a player, right? Now, that's not what it's saying, but it's talking about in terms of impact, value, what they do on both ends, how they attribute to winning.
Right.
Those are some pretty big time names. I mean, that's 2 first picks.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, and Cooper and Zion have like statistically some of the best seasons ever. Right? 2 of the best seasons ever. I mean, Cam's well on his way to even eclipse them, honestly, with his productivity, PER, box plus minus, all that stuff. Just crazy production. And this was like, I would say this was like a C game for him, like if we can call C average. And he still has 18, 15, and and 5, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is hard because it's such like how you would grade the first half to the second half, and then looking at like the complete totalness of it.
It was an A+ second half.
And there were like stretches and moments in the first half that were good, and then there were other moments where it's like, okay, not quite, and so I don't know. I just know that he just keeps coming. He keeps finding ways. I thought John, particularly this year, has put him in situations to just really be successful. Something that we've talked about too, fellas, offline a little bit, is that dynamic of some of the things that we're running in games, particularly late in games, some of the differences, the nuances from last year to this year. I don't want you to make a direct comparison here, like to put him, but not comparing Cam and Coop, but some of the stuff that we're doing, some of what we're seeing, Cam being a true, not that Coop wasn't a winner. God clearly was a winner, right? You get this mantra, you're seeing it on the court. Obviously, John has leveled up a little bit. You're bringing in guys like Brad, Thornton's, the staff, the turnover, the roster. But what do you make kind of that dynamic if we're looking at Cam and Coop and what we've been able to do execution-wise late in these games. I mean, to
Well,
walk away perfect right now is,
last year against Kentucky and Kansas, crunch time situation, we're going to give the ball to Cooper, but it was always kind of like an ISO, just go make a play kind of thing. And not that it's not been the same thing for Cam, but we're running a set play, whether it be, Isaiah's inverted screen, go screen, whatever you want to do here. But Cam's making the right read off of it every time, right? Like hit Isaiah for the 3 in the Florida game. This one, he gets down into the paint. Fears comes over, so Caleb relocates. He kicks it out. Caleb hits a big 3. I mean, and that's kind of been the biggest difference I've seen between last year. We didn't close any of these one possession games last year, even with the great team that we had. So this team being able to do that so far, especially against the schedule that we've played. I mean, you guys know. I mean, when John made this schedule, he said, I didn't make the schedule to go 40-0. Well, I want to go 40-0 now. Like this getting to the heart of it now. I mean, we've still got 2 tough ones, obviously. Texas Tech up in Madison, and then Michigan out in DC are going to be tough. And obviously
there's a big time game in February, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that now. But I just hope we can keep, just finding ways to win. Obviously the Boozers, they've just always found ways to win. And
yeah, I mean, because there's so much more for the team, right? There's so much more there. And to be able to try to get there 10-0 is pretty awesome. But,
I mean, to your point, there's so much room for this team to grow. I think they're already at a very high level defensively, and I'm not sure that we'll see too much improvement there. But on the offensive end, I mean, we just scored 66 points in this game, scored 67 in the game before, struggling to shoot from 3, struggling to hit free throws. I think some of these things will come around, and if that happens, the team just explodes and starts blowing out teams the way that last year's team did. However, we have the close game experience and the close game wins and the close game execution. Technically we've only had 1 game that we've won by a possession, but really it's 3 in my opinion. Like that Arkansas game and this game really were 1 possession games, then just got padded by free throws.
Yeah. The Kansas game had moments, man. Like the Kansas game had moments too.
I mean, this was a 3-point game with 30 seconds left, right?
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, 1 possession to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kansas game as well. I think Kansas like either led in the second half or at least was close. But yeah, the resilience of this team is just the bigger kind of differentiator that I'm seeing now. Certainly, I think last year's team was probably more talented overall, but the fight that they've shown so far, and who knows, I'm sure there'll be a stumbling block at some point in the year. I doubt we're going to go 40-0. I mean, that would be amazing, but just there's going to be a game against a lesser opponent than Michigan State or Florida that we just fumble away for whatever reason, right? But the fact that this game, every time Michigan State got up 5, Duke immediately cut it to 2 or tied it or cut it to 3 or whatever, right? They never got over 5 points ahead of us.
Yeah.
And if they had been, maybe the game just slips away from you, right? Sure. Like you're on the road, the crowd is going crazy. You try to get all the points back at once or something, but just to be able to keep striking back and keep it, and then even take the lead a few times, and then the Michigan State would come back and take the lead. This was Duke's largest lead was 6 at the end of the game. Michigan State's was 5.
Yeah, it was played in the trenches the whole way, right? It was just trench warfare the whole way. And yet, I think there might be something too of last year. There were a lot of, and there's a lot of guys this year too. I kind of feel like how I want to phrase this. Last year, a lot of guys were trying to figure out what their role was, how they fit in the lineup. I mean, you're starting 4 new guys in Tyrese. Right. And so Sion's coming in, taking over halfway, or not halfway, but 8 games in, he's taking over for Caleb. Coop's a freshman trying to figure it out, but he was pretty good pretty much the whole way outside of some late game stuff. If you want to say that, coming over, very raw, really trying to figure that out. Khan getting a lot of buzz, trying to figure out where he fits in this thing. We got a lot of guys doing that now, but I think they're doing it maybe from a more secure foundation. When you think of Slim as a sophomore, Pat as a sophomore, Caleb as a junior, Malik as a senior, insulated. Cam is secure already, just like Coop. So like that's there. And there's just there doesn't seem to be a ton. It's really just that wing spot, Nik, Dame, whoever's trying to kind of feel that. But I just feel like maybe there's just more security in the other guys' role that maybe we're just seeing it a little bit earlier.
Continuity too, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I know we had some older players last year, but they were new to the program.
Yeah.
This year, to your point, we have these guys who have institutional knowledge within the program and are playing real minutes between Pat, Caleb, and Slim. Harris, not so much, but he's still there to provide kind of stability and all that. So it's like you're a little bit less dependent on, even Sion, right? It's like, yeah, he's a senior, but never played at Duke. He's coming from Tulane. So
yeah, we got guys that know how to win, and then you bring in the Boozers. Obviously, Cayden is still not. We're getting there, right? Like there's still, but you bring in Cam, you add that winning pedigree to it. John has talked about the value of being able to find ways to win. Watching that last night or yesterday, watching it back last night, it reminded me of like, oh yeah, there's a lot of these dudes that still feel that Houston game the same way that not the same way harder than I do, right? But like they were there. I'm so used to just so much of our guys kind of just complete new experience here. Nah, man, like they know how, like they figured out how to lose in the Final Four, and so now it's like, okay, we got to get this right. And so I think we put a lot offensively on Cam, but man, there's a lot of guys in there that like they've been through some battles now, man. Like they've been through all of last season. They went through that. They experienced that. And I think we're just seeing it. I think we're seeing some of it.
And to bring it back to Caleb, who we started with at the top, like you can see the hunger there, right? Like, to me, that dude like looks like hungrier than anybody on the team to like succeed, just the leadership he's shown. And then, again, walking off the court there, pointing at the scoreboard was pretty funny, but
waving to the crowd.
Kind of that little Quinn Cook moment to me there.
That starts back from last year's Houston game. I mean, I thought the second half, Caleb played great in that game, and I'm sure it still stings for those guys.
Yeah. I mean, his defensive commitment, man, just is
awesome.
Awesome, dude. Like you can't quantify it enough, right? No. Like, because that is just like it is an effort thing, but it's an intelligence thing. It's a preparation thing. Like, next time you get in there, ask John about that, right? Like he talks a lot about toughness, man. But I think what Caleb has done to prepare is an element of toughness, really, right? Like getting himself mentally in a space to be able to do what he just did after like what he went through last year is like, dude, like tip of the cap, brother. Like that's awesome,
sure.
man. Like that's like hell yeah, dude. Like that is not easy. It's got to be hard as hell to come back at Duke at a place like that and go through all that, man. I'm proud of the kid, dude. Like shouts to Caleb, man. He put us on his back when Cam got his fourth foul. Face was strong as hell the whole game. Never got rattled. Never got shook. Hadn't seen him put his head down like he did last year at times, right when things weren't going well. Hadn't seen a bit of that. And
that's the kind of consistency I think that you really only get from like upperclassmen usually. And that's why it's so cool to have somebody like that come back. Like the amount of stamina and concentration it takes to defend at that level for like being out there for like 35 minutes, or he was out there, I don't know how many minutes he played, probably not 35, but because, obviously Cayden played a fair amount too, but just to defend at that level consistently across a whole game, it's just not something you really see from like underclassmen, like they may defend really well for stretches, but then they're going to take a play off and like lose concentration and make a mistake or something. And that's just the kind of the privilege of having older guys.
I mean, look at just some of those. So you look at these last three games right now. Acuff got his. So, Acuff was able to kind of to do a little bit in that game. But so did Caleb. Caleb got his in that one too, right? And so he matched it. And then he comes in, he plays against the Florida backcourt that obviously has had some issues this year, but that's a very expensive backcourt that they're bringing in with a lot of hype. And Xavier Lee, Boogie Plan, you put him on Foster Island. You come in here against Jeremy Fears, who all we heard was the best guard in the country. He gives you an 0 of 10 piece on Foster Island there a little bit. They're there, man. they're there. I mean, that 3-game defensive stretch is to me almost the guard equivalent of the way I looked at Kyrie's 3-game offensive stretch when he was beasting on MSU and Kansas State. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what he's doing defensively for me, dude. Like, when you take him off the floor, it is like night and day. It is night and day at the point of attack of our defense. And I don't know, man. I don't know if he's got enough flowers or if he will get enough flowers, but we'll continue to do that. So, yeah, shouts to Caleb, man. Anything else y'all got on anybody else in particular that you wanna shine a light on here?
Not really. I mean, I guess I would just say I wanted to kind of point out the overall rebounding. Michigan State came in as like a top 5 offensive rebounding team in the country. They only got like 27% of possible offensive rebounds. They normally get in the 40s there. We out-rebounded them overall as a team. Yes, they had a few more offensive rebounds than we did, but they also shot worse. So yeah, we have 44 rebounds, so they're 43 overall. Our defensive rebounding was just awesome all game. I thought they were just not getting a lot of second opportunities when they took a bad shot. Obviously, a lot of that's Cam. Another part is Nik getting the 9, but then a bunch of other guys chipped in with like 4 or 2 here and there, you know? So I just thought it was a great overall effort on the boards to take away one of Michigan State's like biggest strengths.
Yeah. And I thought, man, like, you know, we talked about it, like all about like how much they assist on their baskets. And I think they assisted on like 85% of their baskets. But like, if they weren't doing that, and you mentioned the transition, like that was a lot of it too. But like, if they weren't doing that, like, our defense was pretty much saying, like, you will not beat us one-on-one. Like, sorry, bro. You might get a little of these where, you know, but like I said, you know, what was he going? He couldn't shoot. And so it's like, all right, man, if you're not just dropping it off for him, you're not beating us defensively. That's impressive, dude. For this schedule to continually, I mean, we talked about the shooting a little bit. Part of it is because we're just maybe tired. We just got our ass beat for 3 games here, fellas, right? Like it's tough out there.
Also, we're playing home. Yeah, and we're playing some pretty good defensive teams too. You know, really, Michigan State was a great defensive team. Florida was a great defensive team. Arkansas is a solid enough defensive team. Both Michigan and Florida, you know, you can put stock in this or not, but they're both holding teams to very low 3-point percentage. So again, there's some flukiness maybe in that, but okay, maybe that's something real that they do. They just get out and contest well. And so,
sure.
You know, we knew these games were going to be ugly, low scoring games, maybe not as low scoring as they were, but the fact that we were able to match their defensive level and just score just a little bit more is impressive.
Yeah, man. I don't think there's really any negatives that I have. I mean, even like I said, even the thing on Cayden, it's really not so much as a negative on him as more of it is just to lift up Caleb. Not really to do it at your expense, bro, but it just points to his value, I think, which is just really cool to see, right? Like that's what this thing's all about. Like you get a junior, you get a kid, like you see the picture of him when he was a kid wanting to be here, rides it out. No offense to guys that decide to transfer or do it somewhere else, but
it just would have been easier for him. It would have been easy for him to just pack up and go somewhere else. Hey, my first 2 years didn't really work out yet. Granted, I thought his freshman year he played fine. He just got hurt towards the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, and then the second year we thought, you know, you'd have a big, you know, jump, but you know, sometimes things don't work out like that. But kudos to the kid for just sticking with it and, you know, working his ass off over the summer to come back and be the guy that he's been for us so far.
Yeah. Even in this year where it hasn't always been pretty, man. And he just grinds.
Yeah. I mean, I thought last year was just, he kind of didn't really fit what the team needed, and he didn't really fit the way we played. And also Sion was just better. Like, which is there's no shame in that. Sion was really good. And he was a senior.
He's a solid.
Like Caleb just, you know, he hadn't quite figured out the quick read and react that he needed to for that team. And this team, he's found a niche on the defensive end and he's focused on that. And then it lets the other stuff come to him, right?
That's the piece. Sion never takes his job.
Yeah.
If he was Caleb last year, like if this Caleb, because the mental toughness, the commitment defensively, you wouldn't have saw that head drop, right?
Yep.
Like, so now we don't win this game unless Caleb goes through that last year.
Yeah.
One blank, right? Like,
and Caleb's essentially doing what Sion did last year. You know, he's playing sort of low mistake basketball and intense defense, and he's not trying to score a ton. He'll score if you need him to, but
yeah, he's got a
Takes it when he
6-year
gets it,
ceiling
yeah.
for sure. The ceiling is definitely like, you know, for the wow fact. There's some stuff that Caleb can do. That
Sion was never.
was
Did
not.
Sion
but-
even have an 18-point game? I don't think so. Like,
Yeah, he had that one where he hit like a lot of three. He had that great
Yeah.
Carolina game.
that's right.
But like Caleb is coming through, and there's been times this year where he's just full speed, spin move, off glass. I think he hit Texas with that a couple of times. But he's not forcing it. He's playing solid, and you know, give Caleb his flowers, man. Well, fellas, I know we're about to get a pretty good break here, so we get to kind of pan out. We have a little 10-day reset before we play Lipscomb. Kind of what are y'all wanting to see over this little rest period here as we kind of get ready to then look forward to Texas Tech coming up at the end of the month?
I mean, for me, it's obviously, you know, recover, get healthy. I know we've played 3 pretty bruising games, so sure some guys are banged up. But I want to start seeing a little bit more from the wing spot consistently. We know what Cam's given us. Pat's been giving us great stuff. Caleb's been playing great, but between Nik, Dame, Darren, I want to see a little bit more consistency from our wing spot.
Yeah, I'd like to see, you know, we're playing Lipscomb next. That's a kind of a lesser opponent. I'd like to see us just get going from 3 a little bit, you know, just have a little bit more offensive rhythm. You know, obviously Florida and Michigan State are great defensive teams that were able to make it ugly, but just get a little bit of that flow going that maybe we can take forward into conference and the Texas Tech game before that.
Yeah. Just stay healthy, right, is the big thing. I think for me, it's literally just kind of making sure, and this is, I think, you know, John talks about the Kaiser method and all this stuff, right? It's just making sure, like, hey guys, let's meditate a little bit, get the body right. Let's refresh. Let's stay hungry, right? Let's humble ourselves for what we did and find a way to like maintain the hunger, right? Because you just played a gruesome like 9-day stretch. Now you have 9 off where you're not playing at all. And so let's make sure we're staying in the space.
And you have a chance if you beat Texas Tech to just lock up a 1 seed maybe before conference play even starts, right? What did we say at the beginning of the year? Like we said, there's 7 really tough non-con games. If we went 5-2, that's the worst we can go. Like we could drop this one in Michigan and still be 5-2.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty good about us beating Texas Tech at this point, to be honest.
I know, man. They haven't really quite been at the level that I thought they would be. Hope I'm not jinxing them when we see that level, you know, in a couple weeks. But I think it's a big opportunity. And then the Michigan
Cameron North
becomes big time.
The Michigan game is going to be a real. Assuming Michigan keeps playing like this, that's going to be like, where are we really at game?
So that's what I want to know is, does Michigan keep this up through Big Ten play? And I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, they've been playing some pretty good teams.
Yeah. I mean, that could be set up and built as a Final Four preview, championship level preview on a neutral DC. I mean, that's a big time. I mean, that's not an Elite 8 game. That's Final Four title game. If you're looking at 2 1 seeds, right? Like that's
it does seem a little unsustainable for Michigan to just keep beating good teams by 40
being crazy good. Yeah. I mean, oof.
We'll see. But that'd be it's going to be telling, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's not going to be the Illinois game, I don't think, right? Where we just come up there and just have this little like just a little show off thing. But I'm excited for that one too, and the fact that it's Michigan too. You know, so little more there for that one. But all right, fellas. Well, after this, I mentioned I teased it a little bit, so we'll have Brian Geisinger come on, and we'll kind of do a little bit of a deep dive stuff. I really want to get his opinions on some of the stuff that we've been doing since, you know, Brad's has joined the staff. Scheyer's leveled up too, obviously. But yeah, 10-0. We're getting into the holiday season. Lots to be thankful for in that regard. Excited, fellas. Fired up, man. I'm pretty fired up. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves with it here, but you know, I mean, I made my bet before the season started, so I guess I'm just kind of just riding the wave now. But all right, fellas. Anything else for y'all before we get out of here? Any other Final shots. Shouts
No,
to
man.
Colin Coops continue to dominate in the NBA as well.
Yep.
Racking up, awards on that. Also, oh my God, fellas, what are we
Jalen
doing
Johnson having
here?
triple doubles at halftime. And
Yeah. But like, we got to talk a little bit about Duke football. I stayed up and watched that game last night. I just forgot about it because we were locked into this for a second. They win their ACC championship for the first time since I was born. So I was born in 1989. So it's been 36 years, fellas. So obviously awesome for that. A little bit of kind of a funny, just it would be kind of hilarious if Duke football is what ends up nuking the ACC because of just some of the bowl stuff and all of that. I saw they got sent out to play Arizona. So a little disappointing in that, but just wanted to give a shout to Duke football, especially some of the friends of our pod, Josh Cox, Jimmy Holt, all those guys are there at Section 17. I won't pretend that it means quite as much to me as it does to you, but shouts to y'all, John, Adam Rowe, all those guys that have been doing this for a long time. Special for the program for Duke Athletics. So
pretty cool, exciting game too, where, it looks like Duke is maybe going to choke it away there. And then they get that walk off in overtime essentially. So that was nice.
Yeah. I don't know why they went for the flea flicker there. That was a bit odd. But hey, man, kid made a play on a ball and good to see that happen for them. Shouts to Manny. Thought it was really classy of him to give credit to Cutcliffe and Elko and those guys. Again, I'm not going to pretend to be a historian of Duke football. I don't even really watch football anymore, fellas. Just, I don't know. But shouts to them, right? Shouts to them. I don't know. Did y'all watch the game? Did anybody watch the game?
Yeah. I just watched some like highlights and stuff, to be honest with you. But it's pretty cool, like, because there was a period in the middle of the season where Duke was stumbling a little bit, right? And it's like, oh, it looks like this season's going to be a disappointment. And for them to finish so strong and then win the ACC championship game out of nowhere,
that
essentially.
Virginia team to do it too, man.
Like, the same Virginia team that humiliated them at home just a few weeks earlier. So.
Just shouts to them. Just shouts to Duke. I think I saw a tweet from Matt Norlander or something about like that hasn't happened. Duke hasn't beaten a top 10 team in offense and or in defense or in football and basketball in the same day like ever before or something crazy, right? And so, hey.
Yeah, it was one of the better days for Duke athletics in a while.
Yeah, great day for Duke sports. So shouts to them. Obviously, the women aren't doing so great, so something's going on over there. Honestly. But we'll stay away from that. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't follow that either, so I'm not going to pretend to stick my nose where it don't belong. So
and I believe the women's soccer team lost with a chance to go to like championship game or something. So it wasn't all good, but.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to downplay those other sports. I'm just not going to speak on something I'm ignorant on. I don't follow it. I don't know it. I'm not going to try to act like I do. So. I'm
a one sport guy, as you guys know. So
I'm pretty basketball heavy. I do like baseball, but that's about it. But all right, we appreciate all of you all. Hope you have a happy, healthy, safe holiday experience if you're out there celebrating. We will get Brian on here, so look for that sometime during this 10-day hiatus. We'll get that in there to bless your feeds. But in the meantime, rate, review, subscribe. You can email us at TheDevilsDen.com. You can find us on X/Twitter at DevilsDenPod247. Keep the faces strong and the verb high.